I want to build the perfect lawnmower race trailer. So I bought this, the cheapest enclosed trailer I could find. However, it's a bit rough around the edges. It already got 4 new wheels, but still failed the inspection. To pass the inspection, I need to replace the trailer hitch assembly and replace the floor. I also want to replace this hole in the ceiling, as well as replace the old stickers, give it a proper paint job, and make a livery which matches my race lawnmower. So please stay tuned to see if I can pass the inspection and for the custom livery. So first things first, I have to empty the trailer, and then there is this metal plate I have to get out. I don't know if I need to remove some extra bolts which are maybe under the rubber, so I also need to take that out, and then I can take the floor out. To get the floor out, I need to remove the door because there's a plate here covering the floor. And I just realized that the struts, yeah, they're not doing much. So I guess I will also replace those. I finally got the door off. It was a little bit sketchy because I don't know how much this weighs, but I can't lift it. I decided just to let it drop so it wouldn't hit me or anything, instead of me trying to put it down and then get mashed by it. Now you can also see this is loose. I removed the side screws on both sides. And what I need to do is remove those. And that is why I wanted to take the door out, because that would just make it so much easier. Ta-da! Floor is out. Now you can see the wiring and the brake lines and everything, and this looks pretty okay. What I'm considering is just to clean it up a little bit. So now I'm gonna let it dry. I also cut some of the screws off. It needs to be dry, then I can paint it, and then I can install the rest. I let it dry, then I cleaned off the parts where there were screws in, and give it a little bit of a zinc coating with the zinc spray. So I'm ready to cut some wood and build the floor. My thought was to start on that end with the triangle area, because there's a rubber mat, and then I can cut it to shape, and the rest is fairly easy, it's just cutting it to length. I will use this as a stencil, but I will still take some measurements just to make sure that it actually fits. I measured and marked the shape, and I used tape to actually be able to see the lines. So now I will cut it, and then I will cross my fingers that it actually fits. The sides are a little bit too wide. Not sure if you could see it, but there's actually no beam supporting the middle plate. So the last couple of months I was struggling a little bit, but now I have a plan. So the issue is that these plates are 125 centimeters wide, and from the beam over there to the end of the tape measure, that's 125. So on this side, the plate wouldn't be supported. So what I will do is just move this beam slightly, and that should be completely fine. I moved this beam a little bit backwards. Before it was mounted right here. So I moved it like 10 centimeters backwards, which results in me being able to put a plate from here to that one over there. In addition, I will just cut this plate a little bit shorter, so it actually stays in the center of the beam, and the next plate will go from there. This is how it looks, as you can see, down there. This is perfectly in the middle of that beam. I also made some marks so I exactly know where the beams are, because later on I will not be able to see the beam, and then I can make a line where I have to put screws in. I made a little bit more progress, and it looks like this. Next up, I will drill some holes through the wood and the metal, and then screw the plates to the frame so they don't move at all. I'm making pretty good progress screwing the plates to the frame. However, there's a lot of spots like this where the screws snap, and that happened a ridiculous amount of times. It's ridiculous. I ordered some parts and the box arrived, so let's have a look what's inside. A brand new trailer hitch. That looks actually quite nice. Nice handle. The nice things about those is that those have bushings, because on those there are not much of the bushings left, and they seem pretty identical, so I think I got the right thing. It should be quite a simple job. Remove 5 or 6 bolts, take it off, install the other one. I put some jack stands, so now I'm just gonna lower it onto it. This I will have to reuse. Now the main bolt should be loose. Now it's out. Was a bit sketchy that the jack stand moved. But the entire weight is basically on this one, so it's okay. And it shouldn't clip anyway since it has 4 wheels and no load in it. Let's put it back together. 4 bolts to start with, and then get the other stuff attached. One of the difference between this hitch and the other one is that it has this part down here. Yeah, can't fit this anymore. So I will make a little cut here, and then it should fit again. I did some beautiful cuts, perfectly symmetrical, but basically it just needs to clear, so. And it does. Perfectly. Great. Seems to be alright now. I think that would work. After being done with that bit, I worked on this. It's not that pretty, and I didn't really record anything of it because it's the first time I'm doing it and I'm really no expert. But I think I can grind it down and make it look somewhat pretty. And the ceiling should be tight now. Grind it down tomorrow and paint it. Now that I cleaned everything up, I also just grinded the walls a little bit. I'm gonna spray paint the interior white, one step closer to a nice trailer. Actually turned out not too bad. I know there's a little bit of overspray, but that's completely fine. And the bottom, I wanted to paint that anyway. And the hood, or the top of it, I'm gonna paint white. I just didn't want any paint on the trim. So this part here, but this I will paint. So, and that's the same color than my racing lawnmower. A quick little respray of the bottom trim, and it already looks much better. It's gonna look quite cool, especially with my lawnmower next to it. The bonnet is the same blue as this. Now that I finished painting with white paint, I will put the floor back in. My stickers arrived. I will show them later when they're on the trailer. I still have to paint the door and mount some sinks to it. So let's see if I can do it today. The weather's actually holding up right now. I finished painting it and putting it back together. These are the new handles. They're really nice and firm. I also added a metal plate so it wouldn't press directly on the wood, since the wood actually had quite some dents. And I added an extra bolt to the step down there and moved this one from here over there, so now I can put the rubber bands on each position. It's the next day and it's so rainy. I'm gonna take that floor, put it in there, and hope I won't get too wet. After a couple of hours I got the floor back in. By the way, the floor's not rusty, that's old glue, which I couldn't fully remove. And I will have it covered by this mat, so that's okay. The floor is basically in place now. So next up I will actually work on the fenders. After using all my strengths, I finally got the door in place. The hinges line up, even though it's quite a snug fit, but I think that's only good. And also exchange the struts. As you can see, this one is not doing anything. And I got 2 new ones, so let's see. I haven't opened it yet, so I have actually no idea how easy it will be. Let's see. might be on the strong side. Can I close it again? I don't need any strings for that. Let's put the fenders on. The fenders are held on by these types of bolts, which have a round head. So you put them in, but when you then go to the other side and try to put the fenders on, those typically will be pushed out. So I will use some tape just to hold them in place temporarily, and then I will go to the outside and put the fenders on. So this one is not going anywhere. And as said, this is just temporary. This is a tarpaulin which is in the back of the trailer and you can pull down. I bought a new one, but I actually realized instead of trying to spend a lot of time getting the frame which pulls it up automatically onto this and cutting this to size and doing a lot of work to it, I was just gonna clean it real quick. I used Silabang, some kitchen degreaser, and this actually works a little bit of magic. I sprayed it all over, let it set for a little bit, and I hope the camera can pick it up. It's not a Silabang commercial, but this really works for some reason. I hope the camera is picking up. This is white, this is basically mud and black. The only thing I hope is that it doesn't punch my face in a bit when this eventually starts flying off. So, and when it was on the trailer, I actually used just gonna hold it for a bit. I also tried brake clean and it works, but this stuff is much cheaper. If in doubt, brake clean always works. And the reason why I wanted to replace it is it has a little hole here, but now I think it will be okay. What I will do now is use this iron to flatten the cracks. I put a towel underneath because I put plastic underneath so it doesn't get dirty. And I will also put a towel above, and that just makes the heat a little bit more gentle and makes sure that I don't burn through this. I tried to iron it. It's a little bit better, it's not great. Apparently I forgot to press record because I put the bed back in. Those I will use to mount the lawnmower to. I will put a beam across, then I will drive the wheels all the way to the beam, and then I can just strap it directly to it. That should be fairly stable and pretty good. But let me put the mat, make some slots where I can put this through, and then see how it fits. To be able to get the metals through, I will use a driller, because this rubber is really thick. Here are the holes. Now that the rubber mat is in and it fits, and I definitely didn't have to cut 2 holes, I will add this beam. This will stop the lawnmower from moving forward. There's a little gap right here where I can get a belt underneath. So then it should be actually quite secure and nothing should move. This beam is not going anywhere. I can even put some stuff underneath, so I can easily get around a belt through and tie the lawnmower to it. And it's not going to occupy that much space. That's going to be annoying if I ever have to haul other things. Last but not least, I will put the tarpaulin back on. And then I have a little surprise for you guys. There's a hole right here which is missing because I glass fibered it up. So I'm going to re-drill that. And get a little bit of a stepping stone because I'm too small for this. My fingers. Basically everything is done now. I'm missing one thing, that's a surprise. I'm gonna finish it up and then show you the entire trailer. Well, I got a little bit wet working on the trailer. Obviously it's raining and it's not gonna stop for the next 5 or 6 hours, so I'm gonna give you a glimpse of how it looks without the surprise, so here we go. I'm really happy with how it looks. Honestly, it's better than I expected when I started. And I think the last few touches with the livery coming up, it's gonna make it even more awesome. But we're not out of the woods yet. I still have to get a registered, and for that it needs to pass the inspection. And last time it didn't. So let's hope it does this time. The trailer is hooked to the car. However, the lights aren't working. I already cancelled my appointment. Maybe I can go later. And it's also raining a lot. So that's gonna be fun. What I'm trying to fix is this light bulb, and right now there's power on it. If I wiggle the cable, sometimes it goes out. Obviously right now it doesn't. So I will move, now it went out. So I will move this clamp further to this side. So hopefully it stays on, because I think the cable is broken. Looks much better. Let me just check if it also fixed the other issue I had. I got all lights working again, except that one. That one is actually LED. I checked if it got 12 volt. It did. I wiggled the wires. Still no lights. So my plan is to make a new appointment for today. Go to the shop first, buy a new light, install it on the parking lot, and then go there. And then crossing my fingers that everything will work. I got the new one. This is the old one, so I will take this off and put this on. Once again, switching lights on the parking lot. The new one is in, and the old one is out. And now I will do a quick test. So what I found out with the multimeter is that this wire is broken somewhere between here and the other light. And I don't have the means to fix it. So what I do is I took the... I'm not sure if I actually should show this, but I will take the 9-volt battery and plant it right behind this light. And put it behind this light so it's constantly on. Technically I have light, it should last for half an hour, right? Just so I pass the inspection, and then at home I can finally fix this without having the stress of doing it in time. So yeah, wish me luck. I don't know if you can see it, but there is light. And so this actually works. I'm back from the inspection and my light is still on. So the lights worked, and this is how the trailer looks. I added the race flag and my custom livery with my race number, team name, and this board on the side. There's one on the other side as well, which is flipped, so the text is not mirrored, but the orientation and layout is basically the same. But did I pass the inspection? The inspector said you could see that I did a lot of things. However, unfortunately, I didn't pass. The reasons why I failed is that there's a hole here and a hole there. So I need to change this panel. Last time he didn't mention anything about this, but apparently this panel is structural. I'm not quite sure about that, but I have to do it, otherwise I can't drive it. The other thing is my new trailer hitch. My new trailer hitch works. However, the brakes needs to be adjusted a little bit so they engage quicker. Because right now when you brake hard, the car starts braking before the trailer instead of basically at the same time. That's the adjustment thing. Both of them are small fixes, also because I don't need to exchange the entire panel. I basically can cut the wood here and just fix the bottom part, but that's not gonna happen today. I'm really happy with the trailer. It has a new hitch, tires, light, floor, fix the ceiling, paint job, livery, and I probably forgot something else. So it was a big job, and in the end I probably didn't save as much money as I thought I would, but I have a trailer and it's nearly ready. And in the next episode I'm gonna go on a little lawnmower adventure. Gonna take my lawnmower, my racing lawnmower, out on a little adventure. Not driving at home. Please subscribe for that if you're interested. And see you next time. Goodbye.